Forget the forest fires and pyrotechnics. The real disaster at a gender reveal is usually the guest list. Nowadays, if your party doesn't look like a Hollywood set, someone's going to file a formal grievance. We've gathered 55 of the most petty, delusional, and flat-out hilarious complaints from people who took a stranger's baby way too personally. From HOA fines over blue ribbons to guests repossessing gifts because they lost a bet, these stories prove that the adults are the ones throwing tantrums. 1. One relative named Howard was furious because the reveal involved popping a giant black balloon filled with blue glitter. His complaint wasn't about the mess, but about the color of the balloon itself. He argued that using a black balloon was a bad omen and suggested that the parents were secretly wishing for a goth child. He spent the rest of the party telling everyone that the baby would probably grow up to be a rebel because of the dark energy of the latex. It's a balloon, Howard, not a crystal ball. 2. A couple decided to do a reveal by having a professional skydiver trail blue smoke as he landed in a nearby field. A local woman complained to the aviation authority that the blue smoke looked too much like a distress signal and caused her unnecessary anxiety. She claimed she spent 40 minutes on the phone with emergency services and that the parents should be billed for the government resources she wasted due to her own confusion. It is truly impressive how some people can turn a skydiving stunt into a personal trauma. 3. Meredith filed a formal complaint with the hostess because the pink smoke bomb smelled like burnt chemicals rather than sweet strawberries. She claimed that, as an expectant mother herself, the scent had tainted her own baby's first sensory memory of its future cousin. She actually asked for a written apology to be read to her belly to clear the air. How do people even come up with the idea that celebratory smoke should have a gourmet fragrance? 4. Samantha decided her reveal would be an all-white attire event for that clean, aesthetic look. However, when the blue powder cannons went off, everyone's expensive outfits were instantly stained. One guest tried to sue Samantha for the cost of a $300 silk blouse, arguing that the invitation didn't include a hazardous materials warning. They claimed the emotional trauma of losing a designer shirt outweighed the joy of knowing the baby's gender. This is why we can't have nice things, or at least why we shouldn't wear silk to a party involving projectiles. 5. A local park ranger had to deal with a family that used 3 pounds of non-biodegradable plastic glitter for their reveal in a protected area. When told they had to clean every single piece up, the father complained that it was natural decoration and that the local squirrels would enjoy the festive update to their habitat. He actually argued that the park should pay him for landscaping services because the glitter made the grass look more vibrant under the sun. It takes a special kind of ego to think your littering is actually a gift to Mother Nature. 6. A couple actually filed a lawsuit against their ultrasound technician because the reveal party featured pink balloons, but the baby ended up being a boy. Their complaint wasn't even about the medical error, though. They were furious because the girl-themed gifts they received didn't match their nursery's blue aesthetic. They demanded the clinic reimburse them for the visual inconsistency of their Instagram feed. Would you actually sue someone because your baby's nursery doesn't match your social media grid? 7. In a quiet suburb, a couple hired a helicopter to drop blue rose petals over their house. A neighbor called the police not because of the noise, but because 3 petals landed in her pool. She claimed the blue dye in the petals was a biological hazard and demanded the fire department flush out her entire filtration system. She told the officers that the rhythmic thumping of the helicopter gave her cat a panic attack that required a literal pet therapist. 8. During a traditional blue or pink party, one relative spent the entire evening filing a formal verbal complaint to every guest she met. Her problem was that the party didn't offer a third color option for undecided. She claimed that by choosing a color, the parents were limiting the infant's cosmic potential before it even had a heartbeat. She eventually left early because the blue frosting on the cookies represented the patriarchy and made her feel unsafe in a suburban living room. 9. A guest at a high-end reveal party complained to the hostess because the party favors were only silver keychains. She expected something more substantial since the couple was wealthy. She told other guests that the lack of effort in the party favors made her question if the parents were actually prepared for the financial responsibility of a child. Who actually goes to a baby event expecting a luxury gift bag for themselves as if it is the Oscars? 10. One grandmother-to-be was so offended by the cake's texture that she called the bakery to complain about the child's future character. She claimed the dry sponge was an omen that the baby would grow up to have a boring personality, arguing that a moist cake would have guaranteed a vibrant soul. She actually demanded a dozen free cupcakes to compensate for her distress over her grandson being a potentially dull conversationalist. It is a bold move to blame a local baker for your family's potential lack of charisma. 11. A woman named Brenda sent a massive group text after a reveal party because the appetizers were buffalo wings and jalapeno poppers. She argued that since the baby was a girl, the food should have been light, airy, and pink, like macarons or a shrimp cocktail. She claimed that eating spicy orange food at a girl's reveal was confusing her digestive system's expectations for the child's future personality. Brenda actually asked for a partial refund on the gift she brought because the catering didn't match the celebratory aesthetic of the gender. Honestly, imagine thinking a chicken wing can predict a baby's temperament. 12. Confetti cannons are loud, but one neighbor took it to a whole new level of petty. Instead of just rolling her eyes, she called the local non-emergency line to report a suspected localized earthquake. When the police arrived and saw the blue paper everywhere, she insisted they issue a citation for psychological warfare. She told the officers that the sudden pop of the cannon caused her to drop her expensive organic smoothie, and she wanted the expectant parents to reimburse her for the $14 beverage and the emotional distress of the mess. 13. In a Florida suburb, a guest actually complained to the parents because the reveal happened at 3 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. Since many people had to take time off work, this guest felt that the reveal should have included a full open bar and a steak dinner to compensate for their lost wages. He argued that if he's sacrificing his billable hours for a 5-minute smoke bomb, he should at least leave with a buzz and a full stomach. Do you think it's rude to host these parties during work hours? Or are the guests just being entitled? 14. One trendy couple decided to dye their white poodle bright pink for the big moment. A neighbor, who didn't even attend the party, watched over the fence and later filed a report with animal control. She claimed the dog looked embarrassed and that the pink fur was a form of identity theft against the canine's natural dignity. She even suggested the dog might need a therapist to cope with the sudden transition from a respected pet to a walking party prop. Imagine calling the authorities because a dog is wearing a temporary vegetable dye. 15. A guest named Greg was deeply offended when the reveal involved a classic box of balloons. His complaint was that the balloons were too slow to rise, which ruined the perfect slow-motion video he was trying to capture for his TikTok. He actually walked up to the mother-to-be and told her that her poor choice in helium quality had effectively erased his chance at going viral. He spent the rest of the evening sitting in the corner, pouting because his social media engagement was supposedly sabotaged by a budget-friendly balloon kit. 16. Some people treat these reveals like a mandatory state funeral. One sister-in-law complained that she wasn't given a private phone call 24 hours before the party to prepare her emotions. She claimed that finding out the baby was a boy in front of a crowd was an invasion of her personal grieving process because she really wanted a niece to go shopping with. Is it fair for family members to act like a gender reveal is a personal tragedy if they don't get the result they wanted? 17. An upscale party in California featured a massive wall of donuts that were either filled with blue or pink cream. One guest complained to the hostess because she was on a keto diet and felt discriminated against by the lack of sugar-free, gender-specific meat snacks. She argued that the party was not inclusive of her lifestyle choices and that she was forced to watch everyone else celebrate while her blood sugar remained stable. She actually suggested the parents should have had blue-tinted bacon or pink-stained hard-boiled eggs for the healthy guests. 18. A couple used a professional pyrotechnics team to launch blue fireworks over a lake. A local fisherman filed a complaint with the city, not about the noise, but about the blue light reflecting on the water. He claimed the specific wavelength of blue light scared the trout away for the next 3 days, costing him his weekend peace. He actually demanded the parents pay for his fishing license renewal since they had effectively ruined his prime fishing spot with their celebratory light show. Talk about a man who takes his hobbies way too seriously. 19. Imagine receiving a bill after attending a party. That's exactly what happened to a woman named Clara, who complained that the host's house was too small for 30 people. She said the lack of air conditioning and personal space made her sweat through her dress, and she sent the parents an invoice for her dry cleaning. She argued that if you can't afford a venue with climate control, you shouldn't be allowed to host a gathering. Would you ever consider sending a bill to a friend if their party ruined your outfit? 20. Sometimes the reveal itself fails, and that's when the real complaints start. When a smoke bomb malfunctioned and produced a weird, murky purple color instead of pink or blue, one guest demanded the parents redo the entire party the following weekend. She claimed that the ambiguous color had left her in a state of cognitive dissonance and that she couldn't properly bond with the unborn child until she saw a definitive primary color. She honestly expected a second round of free food and drinks just to clear up the confusion. 21. Silas brought his $5,000 camera to a casual backyard reveal and then had the audacity to complain to the parents that the blue smoke was too opaque. He claimed the density of the cloud obscured the mother's facial expression, making his candid photos unusable for his professional Instagram feed. He actually suggested the couple reimburse him for the gas money he spent driving there, since he didn't get a money shot. Imagine being so full of yourself that you treat a friend's pregnancy milestone like a failed corporate photo shoot. 22. A neighbor named Trudy filed a formal complaint with the city council because the pink confetti used in a reveal didn't match the historical color palette of the neighborhood. She argued that seeing bright pink scraps on the sidewalk lowered her property value by at least 5% for the duration of the weekend. She even suggested that any future reveals should require a city permit and a public hearing to ensure the chosen colors are aesthetically pleasing to all residents within a 3-block radius. Some people really have too much time on their hands and a very loose grasp on reality. 23. One guest at a park reveal started a literal shouting match because the blue powder was made of cornstarch, and she had a self-diagnosed sensitivity to corn products. She claimed that merely standing downwind of the blue cloud caused her skin to itch and ruined her expensive organic spray tan. Vanna demanded the parents provide a full list of ingredients for the smoke canister and asked why they didn't choose a more holistic way to announce their son's arrival. Is it even possible to host an event nowadays without someone claiming they're allergic to the atmosphere? 24. A boutique bakery in Ohio received a 2-page handwritten letter from a disgruntled grandmother who attended her daughter's reveal. Her issue was that the pink filling inside the cake was a strawberry-hued pink, rather than a classic baby pink. She argued that the specific shade of magenta suggested the child would grow up to have a rebellious and loud personality, which she found offensive to her family heritage. She demanded the bakery issue a public apology for disturbing the peace of the womb with improper color theory. 25. Desmond was a guest who took extreme issue with the fact that the party was a reveal and a baby shower combined into one. He complained to the host that he felt tricked into buying a gift before he knew if he was buying for a boy or a girl. He argued that his gift, a set of neutral gray onesies, was now irrelevant because the baby was a girl and she deserved better colors. He actually asked the mother to give the clothes back so he could exchange them for something more pink and vibrant. 26. Imagine being so obsessed with your own aesthetic that you complain about the gender of a baby you aren't even raising. A woman named Monica sent a lengthy email to her sister saying she was disappointed the baby was a boy because she had already bought a matching designer outfit for herself and a hypothetical niece. She complained that the parents' choice to have a son had effectively ruined her vision for their upcoming family Christmas photos. Should guests be allowed to trade in their gifts or vent their disappointment if they don't like the baby's gender? Or is that just peak entitlement? 27. At a beach-themed reveal, the couple used a surfboard that bled pink dye into the tide when it hit the water. A nearby surfer actually paddled over to complain that the pink water was making him look less masculine while he was trying to catch waves. He told the couple that they were polluting his vibe and that the pink foam was distracting the local sharks, which he claimed made the water unnaturally safe and boring. You really can't make up the level of ego it takes to complain that someone's baby reveal is ruining your shark-infested street cred. 28. Imagine hosting a small gathering in your backyard and ending up with a legal threat from your neighbor. A woman named Beatrice filed a formal complaint with the Homeowners Association because the blue smoke from a canister drifted over her driveway. She claimed the blue tint made her silver Lexus look cheap and un-American for approximately 7 minutes. She actually requested the parents pay for a professional detailing service because the particle pollution ruined her car's aura. 29. A guest at a high-end reveal party in New York complained that the music playing during the big moment was a classic pop song instead of a custom-composed orchestral piece. She told the hostess that the lack of original music made the reveal feel cheap and uninspired. She even suggested that the parents weren't taking their child's future seriously if they couldn't even hire a live violinist for a 3-minute announcement. Do you think people have become too obsessed with the production value of these parties, or is the criticism of a boring reveal actually valid? 30. A neighbor filed a complaint with the police because a reveal party used a small cannon that shot out pink streamers. She didn't complain about the noise, but rather claimed the pink streamers were a form of psychological conditioning for her own children. She argued that by seeing the color pink associated with celebration, her sons would be tricked into liking traditionally feminine things. She actually asked for a restraining order against the streamers to protect her family's traditional values from the neighbor's backyard festivities. 31. Victor, a self-proclaimed foodie, actually emailed the hosts because the reveal cake was basic vanilla with pink frosting. He argued that a girl's arrival demanded a sophisticated profile like lavender-infused honey or hibiscus. He claimed basic vanilla insulted the child's future palate and suggested the parents were already failing to cultivate high culture. Honestly, how pretentious do you have to be to critique the culinary depth of a literal infant celebration? Imagine judging an unborn baby's future based on a slice of supermarket sponge cake. 32. A guest at an outdoor reveal in Seattle was furious because it drizzled right as the blue smoke was released. She complained to the hostess that the gray sky made the blue smoke look muddy in her photos. She actually suggested the couple should have hired a professional cloud seeding company to ensure a bright background for her social media. Has the quest for the perfect photo officially destroyed our ability to just enjoy a nice moment with friends? Or are we all just living for the grid now? 33. Harrison brought his cinema drone to his cousin's party uninvited, then complained the pink balloons weren't aerodynamic enough. He claimed the erratic floating made it impossible for his tracking software to get a cinematic orbit shot, wasting his entire Sunday. He even asked the parents to pay for the wear and tear on his drone's motors since they didn't provide professional-grade targets. Some people truly think their expensive hobbies entitle them to act like a Hollywood director at a backyard BBQ. 34. At a taco. About a baby reveal, Penelope told the mother-to-be that the theme was too aggressive for a girl. She argued tacos were masculine, and the reveal should have centered on something graceful like a tea party. She claimed the spicy salsa was sending the wrong vibration to the womb, and the baby would grow up too loud because of the festive atmosphere. How does one even begin to argue with the logic that a corn tortilla has a specific gender preference? 35. One guest threatened to leave because the hosts asked everyone to wait 2 hours before posting the result online. She complained that her followers were waiting, and the delay was sabotaging her engagement metrics. She argued that since she spent an hour on her makeup, she owned the rights to the exclusive announcement content. If a friend told you that your baby's gender was their personal content, would you ever invite them back into your life? 36. Reginald attended a lavish reveal and complained because the parents didn't announce the baby's name too. He claimed knowing only the gender was half an invitation, and he couldn't plan his gift strategy without knowing if the name sounded expensive. He told the father it was lazy planning to spread information over several months. It is wild to think some people view pregnancy like a multi-season Netflix series where they demand all the spoilers at once. 37. At a party where guests wore blue or pink for their guests, Felicia arrived in neon yellow. When asked, she complained the binary choice was a fashion prison and neither color complemented her undertones. She spent the party telling everyone the dress code was visual bullying, and she felt excluded because she refused to look washed out for a 3-second reveal. Is choosing a party color really a human rights violation, or is Felicia just a professional drama seeker? 38. A professional pool cleaner in Arizona filed a formal complaint after a reveal involving blue bath bombs in a luxury pool. He claimed the dye reacted with the chlorine to create a shade that looked like a Smurf movie crime scene. He charged the couple a triple cleaning fee, complaining the blue water offended his professional dignity. Apparently, even the people you hire to clean up your mess will judge you for the color of your celebration. 39. An astrology enthusiast at a reveal started an argument because the baby was a boy, but the moon was in a feminine sign. She complained that the parents were forcing a narrative on a child destined for lunar, sensitive energy. She claimed that using blue fireworks was confusing the stars and potentially ruining the child's birth chart forever. Should we start checking planetary alignments before buying baby clothes? Or is this just taking the weird ant trope too far? 40. A guest at a modest reveal complained because it was just popping a balloon instead of a skydiver or an explosion. He argued that he spent $40 on a gift, and the entertainment value didn't match the price of his contribution. He actually asked if there was a second act because he felt cheated out of a viral-worthy experience. It is a sad day when people view a friend's happiness as a transaction where they expect a show for the price of a diaper cake. 41. One couple decided to go the casual route by ordering 20 pizzas with pepperoni arranged to spell out the words, "It's a boy." A guest actually complained to the restaurant manager because the pepperoni was too greasy, making the word boy look like the word boo. They claimed this created an ominous atmosphere and scared the children into thinking the house was haunted. 42. Diane was visibly upset because the reveal used navy blue instead of a soft baby blue. She cornered the pregnant mother, arguing that navy was a corporate color that would subconsciously pressure the child into a high-stress banking career. She claimed the parents were robbing the boy of his innocence by choosing a shade that looked like a business suit. Diane actually suggested a redo with whimsical sky blue to save the child's future creativity. Imagine thinking a specific shade of blue determines if your kid becomes an artist or an accountant. 43. A neighbor named Gilbert called the police because the pop of a gender reveal balloon was 3 decibels higher than the city's noise ordinance. He claimed the sound was so sharp it caused his artisanal sourdough starter to collapse in the kitchen, ruining a week of fermentation. He actually tried to sue for the cost of the premium flour and his wasted labor. Do you think neighbors who report balloon pops should be banned from society? Or is Gilbert just a hero of peace and quiet? 44. At a sophisticated reveal involving a live painter, a guest complained that the artist used primary blue instead of cerulean. He told the couple that the specific shade of blue suggested the child would have a boring mid-management personality rather than an artistic soul. He spent the rest of the night judging the parents' lack of color theory knowledge. Some people really can't just be happy for you without turning your joy into a critique of your aesthetic. 45. One guest arrived 2 hours late to a reveal and had the nerve to complain that the big moment had already happened. She demanded the parents go buy another smoke canister and reenact the whole thing because she didn't get a video for her Instagram story. When they refused, she claimed they were hostile hosts and left a negative review of their house on a local community group. Would you actually redo your entire reveal just to satisfy a friend who can't tell time? 46. A woman named Sheila complained that the "It's a Girl" banner was written in a font that was too aggressive. She claimed the sharp edges of the calligraphy suggested the daughter would grow up to be a difficult and rebellious teenager. She suggested the parents take it down and replace it with a softer, rounder font to ensure the baby developed a gentle temperament. It's truly fascinating how some people believe a piece of cardboard can dictate 18 years of parenting. 47. A guest at a high-end beach reveal complained because the blue smoke drifted toward the ocean. He argued that the blue tint would confuse the local fish into thinking the sky had fallen, causing a mass panic in the underwater ecosystem. He even tried to record the couple for a citizen's arrest for crimes against marine psychology. Is there a limit to how much environmental concern one guest can fake just to ruin a party? 48. At a golf-themed reveal where a ball exploded into pink dust, a club member complained to the management. He didn't mind the dust, but he was furious that the pink color clashed with the prestige of the green. He claimed that seeing pink on a golf course made him lose his focus on the 18th hole and demanded his membership fees be discounted. Apparently, a few seconds of pink dust is enough to dismantle a grown man's entire sporting identity. 49. A woman named Beatrice complained that the reveal party was too loud for her emotional support chihuahua, who was staying at a house 3 doors down. She claimed the distant cheers of "It's a boy" triggered her dog's past life trauma of being a cat in a loud household. She actually requested the parents pay for a session with a pet psychic to clear the dog's aura of the blue energy. It's amazing how people can make a baby's gender all about their pet's vibration. 50. One guest complained that the reveal was too predictable because the father was wearing a blue tie. He told everyone at the party that the surprise was ruined by the lack of wardrobe suspense and that he felt his afternoon was wasted on a spoiled plotline. He actually suggested that for the next baby, the parents should wear neutral beige to keep the audience guessing. Do people actually think your life is a scripted reality show designed for their personal entertainment? 51. Beverly from the HOA issued a formal fine because the couple tied blue ribbons to their front yard oak tree. She claimed these were unsanctioned decorations and that the sky blue shade clashed with the neighborhood's neutral earth tone policy. Beverly argued the ribbons were a gateway to architectural anarchy and demanded removal within 20 minutes or she'd call a tree service to prune the entire branch herself. Imagine having your baby's arrival treated like a zoning violation by a woman with a clipboard and way too much free time. 52. Logan was furious when blue smoke from a powder cannon drifted into his hair. Having recently spent $400 on a platinum blonde dye job, he claimed the dust gave his hair a permanent swampy tint. He spent the party in the bathroom scrubbing with dish soap while yelling that the parents had effectively assaulted his scalp. He even asked the expectant father to Venmo him for a corrective salon appointment during the cake cutting. Would you pay for a guest's hair if your reveal gave them accidental blue highlights? 53. During a reveal using puppies wearing pink bandanas, Aunt Martha actually complained to the breeder. She was upset because the puppies were golden retrievers, believing that for a girl, they should have used poodles for more elegance. She argued the retriever's floppy ears were too rugged for a feminine announcement, and the party's vibe was now skewed toward tomboy energy. It takes a very specific, miserable type of person to look at a box of puppies and find a reason to be a critic. 54. Neighbor Frank filed a noise complaint, but not for the usual reasons. He wasn't mad about music. He was mad about the silence following the reveal. He claimed the crowd's collective gasp when the pink glitter fell was an emotional vacuum that disturbed his afternoon nap. Frank told officers that the sudden change in atmospheric pressure from 60 people holding their breath gave him a localized migraine. If your neighbor complains your party is too quiet for their liking, is it time to move or just get a louder sound system? 55. The ultimate complaint came from a guest who demanded her gift back because she guessed the gender incorrectly. Having lost a $10 betting pool, she felt the baby was being difficult on purpose and she shouldn't have to lose her gift and her money in the same day. She actually walked out with the miniature baseball bat she brought, leaving the parents stunned and one gift short. Would you ever invite a person back if they literally repossessed their baby gift because they lost a bet? Some people shouldn't be allowed near a cake, let alone a guest list. From suing over blue hair to claiming a taco theme is too masculine, these stories prove that some guests treat your life like their personal courtroom. If a friend repossessed a baby gift just because they lost a bet on the gender, would you ever let them see the child? Tell me your worst party horror stories in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe for more proof that the world is losing its grip.